For the 1823.
A question that I've been asking myself recently is, why the hell are you trying to set deadlift performance goals when you're struggling to put your socks on in the morning? So I've had recurrent back issues recently that I've just about been keeping at bay, but they've been getting progressively worse over the last training cycle, and I've just been trying to push through. And this just comes from the compulsive need with powerlifting to try and do squat, bench, deadlift all the time. Recently I've had to take a step back and realise that it can't continue in this kind of direction. So more on that in a minute, but first of all, what you're seeing here are some old training clips, up to about 18 months old. I just wanted to get them up on the vlog before they become too antiquated. So as usual, there's training clips of work sets. The 5 main updates are, first of all, continuing to make setup and technique as mechanical and replicable as possible. Number 2, switching back to conventional deadlift. I feel like I gave sumo deadlift an honest shot. I think 2 years is enough time to give something a try before you're like, it's not really for me. Number 3, struggling with back injury and trying to work around that, which I'll discuss. And number 4, working with Bryce Lewis from The Strength Athlete, who has been a fantastic coach so far. Finally, bench PB of 150 kilos, so that's always one positive among it all. So, training pretty run-of-the-mill. It's not meant to be full of surprises, and if you're constantly looking for surprises with your training and novelty, then consider whether you are just looking for entertainment rather than a specific result. Yeah, of course you have to enjoy your training, but it's a fine line, and it's the reason why personal trainers often give people random kettlebell stuff and reverse bands and things to keep their clients entertained rather than their progress moving. As you know, progress comes from the accumulation of the work done, the consistent application of the basics, not random novelty. And with powerlifting, we have it easy because it's all laid out. There's 3 main lifts that you have to do, so your scope is already, your agenda's already made for you. In my case, I can't do them, and I've made the mistake of just trying to bang my head against the wall, trying to do something that is just off the cards, really. And what I've been doing instead is I'm very, very prone to this kind of binary attitude of thinking, oh, well, I'm injured, so I just can't train properly, so I'm just going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And really, this is not being able to do the main lifts, even sometimes 60 kilos for a squat and deadlift is like, no, that's not happening. So that's been a wake-up call, and I'm going through the physio NHS referrals now.
I will do it. Please, give it to me.
In the meantime, switched training focus entirely. So you may have seen my article on off-season for the powerlifter, and this was Mark Keys saying that muscle just isn't designed to be held in a peak state all of the time, and all sports across the board have periods of defined detraining, except powerlifting. For some reason, powerlifters seem to just hammer it all the time, and they're much more prone to overuse injuries. So being able to accept that you can just take some time off, and that even if you do regress, it doesn't matter. Muscle memory is a very real thing, and you can allow your structures to recover psychologically, switching focus as well. And it's been good. So I've been focusing on handstand work, other kind of pursuits that may even enhance things when you come back. So even as a competitive powerlifter, Bryce has helped me realise that you can widen the scope and make room for things like yoga and stretching without feeling like they're going to be actively taking away from your powerlifting progress. So the lessons for you and the advice that I need to take myself. Number 1, you always hear me saying, don't ignore the niggles, address the underlying issue and focus on health over performance as the primary thing. And there was a great article that I found that just encapsulated that nicely, so I'll include that in the description below. Next thing, invest in a decent physio or sports therapist, not just when you're beaten up, but as general maintenance. You need to stay on top of that. You don't only brush your teeth when you've got toothache, so it's something that, whether it's a therapist or just something that you're doing at home with a hockey ball, just keeping on top of your tight spots and making sure that you're keeping yourself injury free before it actually gets to the threshold point where it's affecting your training and your general life. Number 3, if you have back pain, which I know a lot of you guys do, I am using the Kit Lachlan Overcoming Back Pain book. It's fantastic. There's a really specific set of flowcharts and diagnostic tests that he has in the book that take you through and give you a personalised set of stretches that you can do for your specific type of back pain. Back pain's pretty nebulous, and there's a huge number of factors involved and different muscle groups. So one person saying, oh yeah, all back pain, it's because of your adductor magnus, might be true for them, but might not be true for you. So that's why I'm not really going into the specifics of what muscles are involved with my back pain or not, because it may not apply to you at all. Number 4, stop banging your head against the wall. Make exercise substitutions if you have to. You don't need to squat and deadlift all the time. And for example, if you feel like you really have to have some kind of quad dominant leg movement and you've got back issue or knee issue, don't think that back squat is the only option. You know, you could do single leg work, leg press, hack squat, or even just avoid training your legs for some time. Yeah, I'm saying skip leg day, but sometimes it's what's needed rather than just thinking no pain, no gain and worsening any kind of injuries. Quite often, if we have an ongoing niggle or dysfunction and we're training in a certain way for a long time, it's very likely that the way that you've been training is precisely the thing that's causing your niggle and just potentially worsening it as well. Number 5, when you are getting back into function again, as Dean Somerset says in our interview with him, find success. So if deadlifts off the floor are difficult for you or the first few inches are painful, there's no need to do them. You can train within a range of movement or within a load or type of movement that you can do pain-free. Find success in the movement, train that, get your physical confidence back with a certain movement before you try and jump into things that might cause you pain. So hopefully that's helpful. Wish me a speedy recovery. Hopefully you'll see some more Flibly Bibs in the future. As always, I know you guys sometimes struggle with back pain, so I'll try and share some insights as we go along, and I'll speak to you soon.
Oh my days.